Welcome to class. Let's take a comfortable seat to simply be present, and then we'll begin reclining and then floating on up to standing. Let's feel those sits bones, first of all. Just feel our physicality in space. It's really great to have you all here and all the points, different points on our planet. The sits bones are our anchor. You can place your hands under the sits bones just to feel that extra anchoring, so you can actually sit there on the hands. And then when you pull the hands away, if you're on the edge of the blanket, you can pull the hands behind you, and then that will actually help the lower back spill forward. So we're placing that curve. So just pull back and then release, take the hands to the thighs. And that's even if you're kneeling or sitting on a chair, you can do that same thing. Anything I say today is just a suggestion for movement. So if you have anything you want to do to alternate that, feel free. It's your body and your practice. Hands on thighs, palms down to feel that connection with our earth, and then close the eyes as a suggestion to keep those visual distractions at a minimum. We inhale and we exhale, simple, coming to presence in our space. Realizing as we come into the presence of the space around us, noticing the air, the movement of the air, the movement of our breath with the air, the feeling of the ground beneath us, the sounds, and even if we have our eyes closed, what's in front of our eyes as we breathe, and take that natural process but bring it into a magnification of awareness. And then as we come into that awareness, we're also maintaining that same awareness of others practicing with us on this globe of ours. Our tiny specks of presence in this grand universe. But with that connection of our awareness, it simply magnifies us as well. Inhale and exhale. Notice the alignment of the spine. So the base of the spine, having that nice curve, and then we'll go up past those shoulder blades, the mid-back and the rib cage, feeling with each exhale, you release those shoulder blades a little bit more, just encourage them to slide down towards the tailbone. And that immediately will allow the heart to lift a little taller as we come on towards the neck and the shoulders roll away from the ears. A nice natural release and process for the body to respond to the breath. And as those shoulders drop and we feel the back of the neck, so the neck, that lovely curve again, it's just going to lengthen naturally. And then traveling up into the head, we'll feel with our inhale, perhaps the crown of the head just feels a bit higher towards the sky. Maybe we relax the face a little bit on that next exhale. We can even feel our scalp relaxing on the next exhale. The skin around the eyes, skin around the back of the head and the neck. And then on down with each exhale, cascading down, we feel a release of the shoulders. And then the shoulder blades again. So just following the path of our breath and allowing the exhale to give a hint and a suggestion to release. And then down the spine again, past the low back and any musculature there that's maybe clinging or holding. See if you can release that. Down to the hips. Again, getting that connection to our zone beneath us. Rooting through the earth and gravity. And then if you want to keep the eyes closed as we enter our conscious breath practice, that's fine. If the eyes come open, see if you can just keep a neutral gaze on what's around you. We'll take the right hand in front of the face. So you're going to sense that palm in front of the mouth and the nose. There'll be a little screen there. Inhale. And then as you exhale, see if that hand were a window and you're going to fog it up. Breathe into that hand and feel the warmth of your breath in your hand. And you can lengthen that exhale. Notice as you lengthen it, you're noticing those muscles at the base of the middle of your spine, just contracting. Imagine that fogged window. As you breathe and continue this conscious breath, fogging up the window, warming our breath, warming our hand, just playfully imagine drawing a picture in your steam that you've created on the window, smiley face or a tree. One more rotation of breath here. And then allow the exhale to release the hand down to the thigh. Open the eyes and just immediately witness the difference in your state of being. Has it been affected by your breath? And let's turn the spine, just allow the hands to drift to the floor, turn to the left. For a gentle twist, turn to the right. Notice the muscles respond. When we turn to the left again, let's see if we can bring that gaze towards the left a little more. And then drifting over to the right, we'll see if we can bring that gaze behind us. And one more time, just coiling through the spine and allowing a little more release each time. Feel free to continue that fog window breath. Come back to the center. We'll take those hands to the floor so we feel our roots even more to the earth, that zone beneath us, even if there are quite a few layers between us and the depths of the earth. Let's see if we can just root down to that connection. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, right chin over right shoulder. And then follow that natural path over to the left. Back to center. Gazing up at the sky, noticing the layers between us and the sky, wherever we are. And then come down with the chin towards the sternum and gaze down at your heart. Feeling the lengthening in the back of the neck. That's a really good sign if it's lengthening, just allowing a different pathway than the usual, maybe some strain in our neck. We're just releasing that a little bit with each exhale. The inhale just floats the chin up naturally. As we look over to the right again, we're going to reach the chin towards the shoulder and then draw a line across the collarbone down into the center, back to our gazing down. And then across to the other side, slide on over to the left shoulder and keeping that contact, come back to center. Inhale, exhale, drop the chin again, keeping the shoulders tall. And then floating on up. Again, another sense of freedom here. Let's take ourselves to the mat where we really can feel the length of our spine. Take that blanket aside, definitely grab a block on the way. And keep that strap handy. Ease yourself down to the mat. So you're taking the feet to the bottom of the mat, keeping the knees bent. You can cradle the back of your head, be kind to that head as we come down. And we're going to take the knees together, the feet wide apart. Take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Inhale that light and brightness into the body. Exhale out, radiate the light outward. To those of us practicing together, to anyone happening to do yoga at this moment somewhere in our globe. I'm sure there's quite a few. Inhale. Exhale, send out the energy brightly, radiating. Easy pose. Feel when you keep those knees together and the feet a little wider apart, it eases up the low back. but you still have that natural curve. Just taking a moment of presence for yourself. And then as you take that exhale, our next inhale will allow the right knee to trace the left shin down towards the foot. And then we take that right knee and trace the shin back up to the left knee. And then the left knee will trace the line down to the right foot and then up the shin back to the knee. So we're taking those windshield wipers. Only on a very rainy day, these windshield wipers would be going faster, but we're just going to take them nice and slow, as if those windshield wipers were just doing a little swift cleanup. So nice and slow. And then allow the legs to just match your breath, just that movement of easing on your low back and your hip flexors. And you can grab that block and take the block between your palms. So keep the elbows bent for the moment. As you press the block in between your hands, notice that the shoulders naturally engage those big shoulder muscles, and maybe the shoulders roll, the sockets roll down towards the earth a little more as we engage our muscles. So keeping those muscles engaged, let's inhale and reach that block up towards our skies. And in your exhale, feel you can bring those shoulders towards the earth, the shoulder socket. So even as you're reaching up, you can engage and plug into your shoulder complex by exhaling and bringing the block slightly towards your sternum. So there we go. We've got nice engaged shoulders. And now we're going to take the block side to side in the opposite direction of the legs. Just guide that direction over to the left and the right, noticing we're rotating through our shoulders here. And then as we've gotten that rhythm, we're going to join with our head. Look over to the side, so that range of your neck, and allow the block to go in the opposite direction. Pause there for a moment and go to the other side, right over right shoulder, and then just dwelling there for a moment and coming back. So now we alternate. And feeling the wake up of our spine, that spine that communicates to the entire nervous system, that pathway. Let's give it a little detailed attention as we turn from left to right, just remaining there with that mind's eye, our inner vision, brightening up the spine. Maybe there's areas you haven't even thought of recently. You can give them attention, and then your eyes are going to follow that block while the head goes in the other direction. Couple more rotations here. And then find some stillness here. Bring the knees together. Keep those feet wide apart. Take that block above your head, above the crown of the head, and reach up long above you. So we're just really plugging in the shoulders while reaching our length and maintaining that pressure of the hands on the block. Inhale, lengthen the spine, really reach up a little taller above you, behind you. Exhale, feel the melting of the back body to the floor. And then reach the block up towards the sky, and then bring the knees hip width apart. We're going to take the feet to the mat and feel that sense of flexion in your knees that you're comfortable with. We're going to bridge up here. Take the feet and just feel the full corners of the feet on the mat, all the surface. That's our base. And then we're going to inhale the hips up off the mat and take the block underneath the sacrum. And if this isn't comfortable for you, you can take a blanket underneath your sacrum. So we're feeling that spa bridge effect right away, which melts the shoulders away from the center of the body as you exhale. Just feel that connection there. And the arms also surrender. But at the same time, we can Inhale and engage the length of those arms on the floor. And that again pulls the shoulders, gently pulls the shoulders down towards the earth. So do you feel that connection beneath you a little bit more as you press the arms into the floor? Just feel that ease of your back. Dwell here for a spa moment with a couple of breaths. And as you take another inhale and exhale, see if you can match the state of mind with the release in the body, release some holding thoughts. Straighten out the left leg and the right leg into a flexion of your feet. So we're standing, as imagine standing on the feet. We're just releasing and opening up the front of the hips here. Inhale, take that stance with your feet, and then exhale, turn the feet out to the side. This should feel good. If you don't feel good, then you want to adjust the block so that it feels like the hip bones are able to release down around the block. So the sacrum is able to take a break for a moment from any pressures. And let's go right up the spine to our brain and just release the pressure there too. Any thoughts swirling around? Inhale and exhale, release them into the earth. And then take the feet, bend the knees. We're taking the feet to the floor. Your hands are on the floor here, so you might just reach out and see if you can feel the back of your heels, just making sure that those heels are even on the floor. We don't want one in front of the other. But if you want to take the feet out a little further to take our bridging, that's okay too. If you're having some knee flexion issues, just take care of your body, right? Okay, take the arms to the floor, that full pressure of the hands on the floor, and inhale the hips up towards our sky. Great. Lift up here in our first bridge, keeping the gaze soft and upward, softening the skin of the face and the scalp and all of around the eyes. Holding strong though with our foundation, which is the back body, the back of the shoulders, the feet, the arms. And then take that block away from underneath you. If you can, reach it up and take it between the thigh bones there and place some pressure on that block so you can feel your muscles engage. We're building some tone there. And then snake the spine down. Just exhale. Let's snake every little intricate bone down to the mat and taste the sacrum down. Rest here a moment for a breath. A refreshing, renewing breath. A new refreshing inhale as we lift the hips up and take them up skyward. Hold it here for a moment so you feel those glutes engage and the core. And then if you can reach for that block, you can leave it there, or you can take that block, same pattern here in between the hands. Inhale it up above the head, the crown of the head, reaching long. So we create, as we press into the feet, feel the knees connect to the fingertips. Nice long line there, geometry, and then come on up, reach up to the sky. Exhale it down. Feel free to place that block between the thighs as you come down. And then snaking it down, resting here. Let's take this flow upward again. Inhale, match breath and body. Grab the block. Breathe as you need to, but see if you can bring that sense of floating and buoyancy with your inhale and your exhale, that connection with your foundation. Come on back down. Inhale up, alternating this feeling of floating upward with our bones, and then exhaling as we touch down to the foundation. And take this a few times. We're building those bigger muscles in the back of our legs and the thighs and the glutes, the core, all of it. Fog up the window with your breath. Clear up the static in the spine. Continue this wave action. Bringing yourself down to earth. Let's really feel the back body surrender. We can take the block away from the thighs. And here, take a rotation of breath to bring that witnessing back to the body. Notice how that affected your body. Notice the tides shifting, what happened. Warmth coursing, more aliveness awake to some patterns in the body. On your next exhale, let's roll onto the side and we're going to come on to tabletop. Bring the wrists below the shoulders and the knees below the hips, and always cushion your knees if you want to with that wonderful, versatile prop called the blanket. Being kind to the body, a major part of this practice. Great. And let's keep those bones flowing, right? Okay, we're going to take a nice flow here. So if you have trouble flexing the knees, you don't have to go back in child's pose. We're going to take a flow just to explain it before we begin moving from child's up through cat. And then we're going to take bird dog here and then do a flow back coming up through cow, and I'll lead you, just giving you a sense so that if you have to watch out for your knees, you can think about how to do that. You don't want to bring the hips back all the way to the heels. If you don't like that flexion, just stay up in tabletop and do more cat cows. So if you're joining me in child's, come back and reach the arms long on the mat. Just momentary breath here. If you're in tabletop, just take that nice toning through your middle as you exhale. And as we exhale on the floor here, we're going to come on up through cat, keeping that arch in the spine. And then we're all meeting in cat here with our arch up towards the sky, feeling that connection through each little bone of the spine, and then exhale into cow. So let's just take a normal cat-cow pattern here. Again, inhaling up to the sky. Exhaling into cow as we lift the tailbone up and then curl up through the spine, keeping those shoulders rolling away from the ears, and we look up. Exhale. As we inhale back into cat, let's drift the hips towards the heels again, back to child's, where we can rest the forehead and the third eye on the mat. Exhale. As we inhale, we're going to take the forearms to the mat. So take the forearms down, and we're going to inhale and slide forward towards cow. So the spine is going to arch slightly, and then we're coming up on the palms, and we'll end up in cow up here on the mat in our tabletop. And then exhaling, we're going to find a neutral spine right here. Take the right leg, lengthen behind you, curl the toes under, and then take the left arm up, and we'll come up into our bird dog. If you had that block on your sacrum, it would balance on the sacrum because your hips are going to be even. As you exhale, hug into the middle line of that spine. Tone in here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come on down. Bring yourself to tabletop, and we're going to curl immediately into cat. Come back to child's or stay in that tabletop, and bring the forehead down, rest the third eye, forearms to the mat, curl forward towards cow. So we're at a forearm cow, and then we're coming up onto the hands. Adjust there, just look up if you need to see what I'm doing, and exhale into cow. Now find a neutral spine again. So we're finding that neutral middle, that compass to our middle. Toning everything, keeping ourselves stable as we curl the left toes under and take the left leg back. And then lift the leg off the mat and the right arm next to right ear. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, hug into the middle and hold it. Finding your sacrum in space and seeing if those two hip points are even. Exhale down and then curl into cat. And come on back to child's. Drift here, down, and then up to the forearms, cow. Fog the window with that breath. Find a neutral spine. We'll take the right leg back again. And the left arm up. Hold here for a breath. Drift down to the mat. Find that neutral space again with the spine. And then we're curled into cat. And then back to the heels. Exhale brings you down. Inhale, slides you forward, forearms. Light touch there with the palms up into cow. And then find the neutral again. It's a great awareness of our neutral spine, of that long line, and then left leg back, right arm up. And feel the movement and the breath marrying each other. It's just nice and flowing. Curl into cat. And then back to child. And then slide up to cow. And then back into neutral. Right leg back. Left arm. One more rotation here. Feel that strengthening and toning. Bring it down. Curl back to cat. And child. Slide on up to cow. Find the neutrality. Keep that stability. Left leg, right arm. And then down to the mat. If you want to slide back to child, you can take the knees wider apart this time and just open up the hips. Take the forehead down. Surrender down. If you need to come down fully without the knee flexion, you can just come down to the mat facing down, full body down, straight legs. Roll the head side to side. And just shift the hips side to side. So imagine if you're in my child's pose here, you can imagine hands on either side of the hips, so the lower back, and just imagine them drawing length into your low back, bringing the hips towards the heels. That's the adjustment that we would make manually here. It's just bringing that sense of gravity into the hips and a surrender through the exhale. Great. Let's move towards that face down. So we're going to come up. We can move the blanket aside as we ease ourselves towards on our way down. Actually, let's take a knee plank just to keep ourselves strong. So take yourself forward, knees on shins on the mat, and we're going to shift the hips forward into a knee plank. So you can curl those back toes under to protect the knees and bring more foundation there behind you. Exhale, take the shoulders towards the ribs. So we're really strengthening here. And the glutes are engaged. We've got that navel toning towards the spine, middle engaged. Let's take lizard push-ups here. Bend the elbows so we allow the sternum down and then straighten out the arms. So we'll do that 2 more times. And then we're going to find our way down to the mat. You can do a baby push-up here, or you can, keeping the length of the spine, or you can just snake your spine down to the mat. Find your way down to the mat. Keep the elbows to the ribs if you try that little push up or push down. Bring the forehead down, lengthen the arms next to the ears, tops of the feet on the mat. So we're taking a beautiful length here. Inhale, lengthen, exhale. Feel the base changing. We're changing our base to the front body on the earth. In our daily activities, we don't get to roll around and connect to the earth like this. So let's just feel that connection as if we're rolling down a lawn as a kid. And then bring the hands next to the shoulders, elbows to the ribs. Let's lengthen as we pull the hands back towards the heels. Notice the length that creates to float up to baby cobra. Exhale down as we bring the head down. We're going to reach the left arm next to left ear and lift the right leg up. on our next inhale. And then our exhale, come down, allow the hand to drift back to the shoulder there, and inhale into a baby cobra, articulating through the spine. We're taking that tailbone and pointing it towards the heels. As you come down, flow down, bring the forehead down, and then reach the right arm next to right ear. And we're just lifting up into our left leg, right arm. Exhale down, and then come back to a baby cobra in between. Only come up as far as is comfortable for your spine. So we're just making sure we strengthen gently. Bring the head down, and then we're taking that left arm, right leg. This is similar flow to that we were just doing above. Just now we're full body. On the floor, come down, right arm reaches and the left leg. And then a baby cobra in between. Really point that tailbone and feel that lengthening of our low back. Really good for the low back decompression. One more rotation here. Left arm, right leg. Down, cobra. And then right arm, left leg. And then down to baby cobra. And then bring the forehead down. Bring the hands forward just above the head so the elbows are out and we're palms down. Just going to lift the right leg up just for that sense of lengthening through the right leg. Lift it off the floor, point behind you, point those toes, and then bring it down. And then inhale, left leg off the floor, point it out. Lengthen, exhale, bring it down. And now we'll just bring everything. So reach the arms out towards everything all at once. What is it? Everything, all, everywhere, all at once. Okay. Likes enough Oscar references. Inhale everything off all at once off the mat. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Head off the mat. Exhale, release down. Take one ear to the mat. And take the hips side to side. Then release the low back as you do that. Just feel that release. Those bigger muscles can let go for a moment. Shake it out. And then bring the forehead down. We're going to come up into Sphinx. If you, I just want to give you a warning before any, really pay attention to the low back if you have any strain there as we come into not into Sphinx, keep it down to baby cobra. Inhale the head off the mat. We're going to take the forearms down, elbows below the shoulders. Take the hands, the palms down. Keep the tops of the feet on the mat so that you really engage those muscles, pressing in. Look down first. So we're just feeling that sense through the lower spine, pointing the tailbone down. Now, let's take that heart. There's a light on the heart, a flashlight, and we want to shine that in a more horizontal position. Right now it's diagonal. So let's see if we can keep looking down towards the hands and shine that heart light first, rolling the shoulders backwards towards the back of the mat, and then bring the neck on up with that. So just take a slow peeling upward. Only find the angle that's good for your low back. Maybe you'll get cramping in the feet like I am. Just tap them out and look up. Again, only look diagonal if that's comfortable for your low back. Sphinx. And then look down towards the hands. Lift the hips slightly. We're going to take the hands together in prayer below the face and really feel the elbows below the shoulders, the forearms on the mat, and the pinkies on the mat. So we're going to bring the hips up into a knee plank for our forearms. Find the length of the spine. Stay in knee plank, or you can curl both toes under and lift the knees off the mat. And really tone in here. So we're really finding the straight spine here, back up skull to sacrum. And then you're bringing the knees down again and easing the spine back to Sphinx. Again, finding that curling through the spine. Nice and easy here, but we want to make sure we articulate that spine. Bring the hands back to that prayer position, pinkies down. So find your strong base. You can stay here in knee plank, or you can come on up, curling the toes under. Spend a moment here with a strong fogging that window exhale. And then down again, back to Sphinx. Gaze out with your heart, that wise heart. Appreciate its wisdom. And then snake yourself down. Good job. Take the other ear to the mat and just sway those hips side to side. We feel that stretch gait, that nice passive stretch in the neck. Moving side to side, whatever side you're comfortable with. Excellent. We're going to come on up to a dog now. So we're going to bring ourselves to tabletop. If you want to take the block between the thighs, that's a nice engagement there, as we've done that together before. And then take the hands onto the mat, curl the toes under, holding onto the block, bring the knees off the mat and straighten out the legs, feeling that toning. So we're going to first take tiptoes and ribs towards the heels and push back from the hands. So we feel that lengthening on the inhale. The exhale, see if you can slide those heels towards the floor, maybe straighten the legs a little more. Bend and straighten the legs together evenly. Don't force anything, just allow gravity to see if we can encourage those hamstrings to open through the bending and straightening. Tiptoes, and then bring the heels down. One more round here, and then find your full expression of this dog. So that made my dog turn around. Probably she loves hearing the word dog. And see if you can find some strength in your foundation, hands and feet. And then bending the knees, we're going to come towards chair pose as we take the hands towards the feet, squeezing onto that block. Let's bring the hips back so that the knees are behind the toes. And then sweep the arms behind you up towards the sky. Lengthen your spine, find the skull sacrum awareness there and alignment, and then bring the arms next to the ears and bring the hips off those thighs. Squeezing the block helps us fortify into chair. Standing strong on your feet. Let's step strong and slowly, slowly come on up, keeping those arms aloft. As you exhale, draw the shoulders away from the ears, even as the arms stay up, and we find squeezing that block, some nice foundation here. Sweep the arms towards that block, and we're going to take the block in between the hands. Now we're going to lift the block up, keeping those shoulders plugged in. So as you bring the block up in front of you, make sure you can exhale your shoulders down away from the ears each time you come up an inch higher. Holding onto the block. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, expand. Exhale, draw the shoulders away from the ears and lift it up a little higher. Follow your breath upward. Offering up. Notice as you squeeze the block, you're keeping those bigger muscles engaged. So we're supporting the alignment of the shoulders. And you can only take this up as far as is comfortable. If it doesn't go above the crown of the head, that's okay. Let's exhale it down in front of the sternum. From here, let's bring our awareness to the feet. We're taking a nice strong base through the feet. Connection is if there's a block between the thighs, we're engaging those glutes, and then we're going to offer that block over to the right side as we turn through the mid spine and upper spine, twisting over to the right and then over to the left. Taking this alternating back and forth up here with that strong base of our legs. One more time. And then we'll meet again with the block in front of us. And then with one hand, grab the block, take it behind you. And we're going to meet behind with the block at the base of the spine, behind the glutes, and then press the hands into the block. And then lift up a few times here towards the sky. So we're toning through those triceps as we keep that heart open and we keep our abdominals engaged. Great, and then sweep that block forward again. Take the block into your right hand and step forward with your left foot, and we'll angle the back foot as well so we can come into that warrior one feet. Keeping this nice strong base here through the feet. We want to lift the kneecaps up with our quads, so make sure they stay engaged. Find the hips facing forward. Inhale that block above the head. So we're going to lengthen the right side from the right hip, or actually the right heel, all the way sweeping up the body in an arc up towards the block. Gaze up at the block so you feel even more length in the side body. And then from this length, we're going to take the left hand to the left hip, and hinging at that hip, we're going to come forward. Again, keep that left quad engaged as you reach towards the top of the mat. Just see if you can reach even a little bit further with that length. And then if you can bring that block down on its tall side to the mat, fingertips on the block, really bring that hinge into your left hip, pyramid pose. Inhale, length, exhale, find your base. Take care of that front knee, micro bend as you need. Feel this toning into those hamstrings and the quads. Float on back up, keep the block with you. And then come on up to vertical through the spine, bring that block aloft so you can feel that same length. And now I'm going to give you a choice to take the block either in your palms and come towards a warrior three, or you can take the block behind you. And this is kind of a funny balance challenge. You can place it at the base of your spine as you tiptoe the toes forward. And we're going to try to balance in warrior three, staying strong on that left tower there, and see if you can balance that block on your sacrum as you come forward. Just play with this. Hopefully it's a lightweight block. If it's not, just hold the block in front above the ground of the head, trying that lengthening and balancing there. One tip is to keep that back foot super active and even off the hips, or play around with that block. Take the hands in prayer, like so. Play with this balance. Come into that middle zone of the spine. And if you falter, come on right back to our base. Excellent. Okay, let's step back with our left toes and left foot to our mountain, feet parallel. Grab the block behind you again. We'll open up, pressing into that between the hands. And then exhale, come forward with the block into the left hand, step forward with your right foot. Reach on up, inhale, up towards the sky. We've got warrior one feet. And feel the reach on the left side, and then look up at that block. That torch above you. And then gaze forward, take the hand to the right top of that right thigh. We're going to hinge there, pull that quad up towards the hip as we reach and lengthen on the left side, and place that block down, find our base. Fingertips on the block, and just reach with the spine in that horizontal place. See if you can square off those hips as if the legs were those scissors, pulling them together. That's the expression. Strong base, strong breath. And then we'll grab that block and make our transition to either holding the block and coming forward into our balancing stick, or warrior three on our right tower. Or we can even just play around and try to balance that block as we come into a prayer position in front of the chest. And just play around with your balance. That block, just bringing awareness to the squaring off of our hips and the evening of that sacroiliac joint. With this pose, that's a particularly aligning activities to keep those hips nice and even. Find your breath. Come in and out of this as you need to. We're just playing, it's practice, not perfect. As you hold that block, if you have it above the crown of the head, you're really engaging those shoulder muscles. And then reach on back to our warrior one. Again, meet there. And step back to mountain. Let's bring that block above the crown of the head. So touching up to those clouds. Let's visit the feet. Find that strong foundation. Take a side bend. I'll just show here. Exhale, swing over to the right. Really standing strong through your left foot. And then back up. Exhale to the other side. And then let's keep that same engagement through our hands, rolling shoulders away from the ears. To the other side. And then here, back to the other side. And let's find some height here, keeping that aloft above the head. We're going to come up onto the tiptoes and find some balance here. Here we really have to tap into where that sacral awareness and our navel. See if you can balance a little bit here, coming up and down as you need to. Ease through those shoulders as you stay strong with the muscles. And find your base of those feet. And bring the block down. Release the head. Just hold on to the block for a moment. Release the shoulders, sorry. And then just let's take the ankles and give them some love. So circle the ankles in one direction and then the other. And the left as well. Finding strength and balance, reminding ourselves that we're progressing in this practice. Take the feet to the base of the mat, take that block between the thighs, and we'll take our chair path down. Inhale the arms next to the ears. Now we're nice and connected there. Hips back to a chair pose, squeezing that block. Find one more round of breath than you normally would here. Keeping the spine long. Breathe with your whole body. As you exhale, dive forward into a forward bend. Keep the knees bent if you need to for your low back, but if you'd like to get those lengthened hamstrings, you can come into a forward bend, hanging the head down. Feel the release of the neck. So we got that release of our brains downward, oxygenating. Again, bend those legs, bend those knees if you need to. This is your caring practice. Shake the head yes and no. You can take the thumbs to the elbow creases. That'll encourage the skin to lengthen. And then hands find a mat, bend the knees. We're coming down, bringing the knees down and taking that block in front of us. Take the forearms down. We're coming into a child's, but let's take the flexion out of the knees by keeping that block on its high position and taking the third eye to the block. So the forehead comes to the block and we take the forearms beneath us. Again, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can come onto your back and just hug the knees. Rest the third eye on the block. That extra encouragement and gentle massage on that forehead. Release through your breath. Your inhale, let's inflate the back body. So keep that love and awareness into the back of our bodies. The wisdom of the back body. Exhale, hips release, forehead releases. Supported child's pose. Inward awareness. Lift up the head, release the block to the side, and we're going to come onto our back and grab the strap. Sacrum and skull align on the mat. Let's inhale the knee towards the face and take the strap and lastly the right leg. Just a real brief hamstring stretch here before we go into figure 4. Making sure we get some length in our hamstrings. If we didn't get it already, let's take that right sole, the right foot up towards the sky, and just notice that lengthening out of the back of the leg. Reach on up, and you can bend and straighten here. And really drop into your right hip. And then we'll take the toes towards the take the toes towards the left shoulder. And bend and straighten there. And then come back to neutral, take the toes out to the right shoulder and bend and straighten there. And then to neutral, we'll release that to the other side. Right foot comes down. Inhale, left knee towards the face, and we'll take that strap around the left foot. Lifting on up. On the exhale, bring the awareness to the left hip. Gravity. Dropping down to that hip, and then bend and straighten the leg. Bring the left toes towards right shoulder and bend and straighten. And let's bring the left toes towards the left shoulder and bend and straighten, keeping that knee aligned with the toes. Oh man, I really feel it on that side. And then release that foot. Keep that foot down on the floor. Inhale, right knee towards the face. Give it a hug. Take the right ankle to the left thigh. And just notice that opening here. Grab for the left thigh. Clasp the hands behind that thigh. And then lift the left foot up towards the sky. Another hamstring stretch and another strengthener. If you'd like to challenge your core, you can stay here always, or you can also let go of the leg. Just see if you can maintain those hips nice and even. Breathing into that right hip. All the different shapes we can take to keep our body aware and awake. Let's take the left foot down, but let's release as well, right? We want to stay awake, but we want to be able to influence through the breath, the release. Now we're going to come into a figure 4 twist, but if you don't want to do that, you can come and keep the knees together and just do a regular twist. Bring the right foot down to the floor as we come onto the left side, grabbing the right ankle with the left hand. And then just relax the left knee into that right angle. Take the right hand to the heart, elbow to the sky. Keep the hips over towards the left as we open up into a twist on the upper spine. Reaching the right arm out to the right. Looking over the right shoulder. If you like to get that quad stretch and get your left foot involved between the right hand and the left, but that's fine or not. As you exhale, feel some surrender. into the back of the ribs. Take the right knee a little bit inch side to side, opening up the hip. And then coming out of that twist, we'll ease ourselves onto the back, unwinding. Inhale, left knee towards the face, and then the left ankle over the right thigh. Hugging that right thigh towards you, clasping the hands. And then lifting that left leg up. Dropping towards that sacrum, all that exhale energy. We're going to see if we can fortify and let go of that leg, only if you want some core action, extra workout there. Couple of breaths here. And then bend that right knee, bring it foot to the floor. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, keep those, either switch to the twist you like or the car. Got it. Oh no, we're okay. Sorry, I just had to check something on our outdoor situation here. Roll over onto the right side. Take the right hand to the left ankle. Come onto the right side. And we're taking the left hand to the heart, elbow to the sky, and open up to the left. Look over your fingertips. Release the back body. And keep that right ankle in your right leg. Or you can even drift down and see if you can find those toes. But again, no pressure here. Take that left knee side to side a little bit there. And release the hands, roll onto the back. Into our figure four and release that. Taking the knees together, feet wide apart. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Just feel the body. Take a tour. Have the tides shifted again. Inhale, exhale, fog the breath. With the window, fog the window with the breath. Draw that picture on the window with your fingertips. Glass art. Take the right leg out and the left leg out. On our inhale, we're going to tighten everything everywhere all at once. Inhale, tension into the face everywhere. Exhale, release it. So just feel the arms drift next to you. Flop the feet out to the side. All of the effort, you can let it go. Let go of the clinging in the mind. Melt, sense of melting the energy, surrendering to the back body, surrendering to gravity, to the earth beneath us, feeling that support. Support that is always there. Your next inhale, feel that sense of connection, back of the legs and the back of the arms. Exhale, release. Lengthening inhale through all the way down to the feet. Exhale, release. Feel the face, release. Inhale. Exhale one more time with the whole body as you wiggle the fingers and the toes and ankles and knees and wrists and elbows. Roll onto your right side and come on up to a seated position. We'll meet in the prayer position with hands at our amazing hearts. Inhale. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today.